At the hospital, a family only had two mother and child going to the doctor when she discovered that the girl was having a brain tumor. According to a doctor's diagnosis, this tumor can be removed. Hopefully, two people should be mentally prepared for surgery as soon as possible. Back to a period of time before, when Hyoji's mother was an extremely powerful construction site supervisor and had a voice in the delegation. In addition to the supervision, she often has several drinking sessions with the whole group regardless of high levels. Everyone's belief is that the happy spirit will do good deeds. After being drunk, Lee called her daughter here to pick her up, but Hyoji had no mood at all, so she had to call Mr. Hong. However, after a while, when Lee came home, her daughter came to pick up. Fearing her mother could not go home, but she agreed to introduce her daughter to everyone here. It is true that any mother is like any mother. In front of friends, acquaintances are like introducing their children to others. Make children extremely afraid. In addition, Hyoji was also discussed by people. She was also captured by her mother how good she was. Knowing that just now did not go to pick you up. Fortunately, the other people went out more, so Hyoji could take her mother home on the way back. Her mother kept constantly about the construction site that Hyoji did not want to pay much attention to. Then when she came home, she asked her mother why she had to live like this. Mom does not understand what the daughter is saying. Hyoji is afraid that she will be like her and live a life like her mother. One thing she doesn't want at all. After a drunken night, early in the morning, Ms. Lee received a call from Mr. Hong to apologize. Ms. Lee suddenly worried when she heard these words because she used to lend Mr. Hong 30 million before. But now he calls back just to apologize that he could not return that money. Although temporarily unable to claim that money, Lee still tried to recover her spirit because there was the only girl behind her. Seeing her daughter sitting on the dressing table, she wondered when this only girl of her only gave her money here. Suddenly, Hyojin said, "I will leave this house so I don't talk anymore." Thought her daughter joked, Lee also went to the construction site. But coming to the construction site, it immediately encountered the problem when the drawing was not commensurate with the number of reinforced steel. So she was immediately questioned by the superior why a construction site manager could not catch the stealing reinforced number. Manager Zhang on one side tried to speak, but the director's name only smirked for a few hours. Asked the two of them dating and standing out to protect her. Or two people plotted to steal supplies. He ignored the manager Zhang with Lee's manager who tried to say anything. When he left, the two of them cursed at him without a shortage. It is true that a psychiatrist pretending is a sick person. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Hyojin and his first-year trainee was constantly being insulted and reminded by the head of the department. Seeing her melancholy face, he not only did not care, on the contrary, he also wanted to bully and despise. Maybe you don't know how to pick up the knife for surgery? Seeing the fake names in front of the color, Hyojin could not help but clapped his hands disdainfully. At the dinner of the team, Professor Hong from the anesthetic department said he would also win the Nobel Prize if he was also good. It is in bullied trainees, but the surgery is not knowing Hyojin. Doctors try to maintain the image of easy trainees like this. After saying that the other names of Salt and Face just wanted to go to the mountain to make monkeys. And Hyojin decided to quit his job and then called his best friend. Coincidentally, today I came to school for her daughter. Lee called the medical hospital where her daughter was studying to ask when she needed to pay. She heard it over and over to see the school report that her daughter had submitted an application to stop school. She tried to ask if the school was confused, but Hyojin decided to leave her home with her best friend. Withdraw all the money, buy a camping car to the mountainous area. Her mother called to ask about whether her daughter was really dropped out of school. During the past time, Hyojin was tired of following her mother, so now she wants to decide her own life. The best friend now realized that the situation seemed to be trying to leave home. It is true that the tribulation also entails her best friend. To the point that Lee also had to call her friend to see where they were. The close friend shouted, "If you want to leave home, go alone, let alone travel to have more accomplices. Every crime when the sea is outside the door frame. This girl found going out like this is also a happy thing. Go to the camping ground in the sea." The new girl shouted because she was dragged as the accomplice. But because the food here is so delicious, this girl also decided to change her intention. Well, going out for a while is nothing. Youth just play like the larvae only. Meanwhile, the two mothers at home called each other to take care of the fever because they did not know if the other two reported to go out to have money or whether it was safe. So the next morning, Ms. Lee tried to send money to her daughter, threatening this amount that the mother would be used to compensate for hitting her children. Take it and leave, but can't send it. She immediately ran to the bank to ask if there was an error or not. Bank staff reported last night her daughter withdrew all the money in the card and closed the bank card. Now from the mother from the face, the child from the mother's face. Out of the way, Lee could only come to her best friend's house to make the meal lightly. She said when she met her daughter's newspaper, she would definitely not hold back at all. After finishing the mother, she encouraged Lee to finish eating, and then the two of them would start looking for their two children's newspapers. Meanwhile, Hyoji is still with her friend to leave home in the direction of Google Map. Arriving at an architectural studio, and the two also stopped to see what was inside. Every crime here has nothing interesting. The two continued to go on the road to ask Hyoji, why do you want to come to Chong? Hyoji believes in something called fate. She believes that if she comes to this place, she is likely to face her fate. Suddenly the car smoke. The two immediately ran out of the car and forgot the phone inside. So Hyoji forced her to call her insurance or ask her to help her mother. At most, I just got hit and hurt a little. It's just a little pain? The voice echoed here made the two close friends howling. I was beaten to death because of stealing this mother's wallet. The conversation is getting closer and closer to both of them seem to be in the earth or hallucinations. The new farmers sat up from the pile of onions and helped these two friends check the car. The situation becomes serious. The farmer on one side asked this car to repair it. As soon as I finished, I was mentioned that the plow was not finished alone. So the farmer wore a cool glass to call another uncle here to help the children. This is extremely strange here. Then she made her expressions that were hard to describe. Tell him to come soon. The village chief suddenly asked if the two of them went to eat. Then treat these two girls a very hearty meal. Do not forget to take pictures posted on the personal blog and do whatever you do. The two mothers who went to school also confirmed that Hyoji had actually resigned at the medical school. Studying very tired to get to Korea University, only one sheet of paper can disappear from this school. Now the two mothers plan together. Must go to catch the other two newspapers here. Then the two mothers found the address of a restaurant called Mimi nearby. You two just wait. The paradise of both will only last 2.5 hours. Hyoji and animals are still eating delicious rice because the food head of the village is extremely delicious. Can you just ask you two to go to this Chong area for summer vacation? Angry said I go on vacation and it runs away. Suddenly there was an unpleasant friend who stopped being heartbroken just because he saw the two beautiful women who came to see everyone's village. The real reason this friend stopped by that was Bo Hyun, who wanted to ask him to look for her glasses. The head of this village said that no one was better than Mr. Ryu. So after finishing eating, the whole group returned to Hyoji's car. She wore glasses to Ryu as a very fastidious person. Try not to collide with him. She wore glasses to ask Mr. Ryu everything was okay. He had just returned to Hyoji to see him with a little handsome appearance of a middle-aged uncle. Surely this son is also very beautiful. Just like, when the son Bo Hyun just stepped out, Hyoji noticed. He reported the situation. It seemed like the car was short-circuited because the car was camping or it was so much. Now there is no component, so it cannot be repaired immediately. Mr. Ryu asked Hyoji, did you steal the car? If so, then surrender. She saw that Ryu looked a bit familiar. So she asked, do you know who you are? Sorry, but my wife's family, I don't even know who is it said. To ask Bo Hyun to help repair the car. The three grandchildren immediately made a prayer face. He agreed to bring the broken part tomorrow to the city center to help. When bringing the car to Bo Hyun's house, the two girls continued to bring their stuff out and camping, not knowing their mother's mother had found the Mimi store on the picture and posted it. The two mothers asked the boss to see if they saw these two children. So before eating, the two newspapers were caught in the battle. Well, he doesn't know anything here. Animal hid in the car. Leaving my friend outside was scolded by my mother for a match because I dropped out of school. Hyoji does not want to exist in the school who always pinched trainees like that anymore. Hyoji asked his friend's mother to lead to animals first because there was still important thing to tell her. Later, when the two of them sat together, although Lee was very annoyed, she still had to restrain to ask what her daughter was having. Hyoji told her mother to have brain tumors. Her mother did not believe it at first, but seeing the silence, hesitation of her child, she felt a little sorry. Start worrying and try to call the bus. She tried to find a car and encouraged. The anger is no longer present, instead are the ultimate anxiety. To the opening paragraph. The doctor said Hyoji's tumor is the primary tumor in the brain. Need to be removed through surgery for biopsy. absolutely capable of letting her live. Leaving the hospital, Lee asked her daughter, but Hyoji said that he still lived like that. She tried her best. Knowing that his illness will not go away and have to live a dull life, Hyoji doesn't want to waste it like that. Her mother asked why she did not try another hospital. Not that she did not want a cure, but she had been to a few different hospitals. The only thing that Hyoji wants is to be alone. Just like that, each one goes a road. Hyoji returned to her camping car, and her mother went home. Thinking about her child does not want to live a boring life. Ms. Lee could not sleep, so she started to stay up all night to clean up everything in the house. How to clean up until the morning still could not end the melancholy in the body. She called her best friend. Her best friend, half awake, did not understand what was happening. Only seeing her friend was annoyed just because she did not make kimchi and turned off the phone. After calling, Ms. Sun Rong went to Mrs. Lee's house. Asked what's wrong. Are you sick or not? She just told her daughter was sick, but she did not know. It has a brain tumor in the body. Mrs. Sun Rong ran to hug her friend. Why must be her? And Hyoji, from the time he knew he was sick, I don't know what she will do next. What she was really afraid of happened to herself. Want not to cry but can't help but cry. Hyoji faced brain tumors, starting when she was on a bus home. Even so, she still went to medical school trying to learn and eat, although friends on one side were still extremely despised because she thought she pretended hard. It was this brain tumor that made Hyoji once fainted while going to the surgery practice. Since then, she has known herself with a brain tumor from a long time ago. This makes Hyoji feel like I don't need to try more. Just by the right effort, the opportunity will come to her. Before the unhappiness of knowing that it was brain tumor, she had tried to talk to her mother, but her mother did not care much. Just knowing that at the construction site makes Hyoji no longer have the mood to tell her mother about her illness. Just like that, the self-pity in her becomes the sulky of children, make her feel more hurt. Lee and her close friend continued to the hospital to find out if the girl's tumor could cut away. The doctor said that this tumor could be removed if the provincial surgery. At that time, the tumor removed and monitored to fully preserve the important brain of the patient. Seeing her child can save, Lee wants the doctor to arrange surgery as soon as possible for her daughter. However, the treatment fee seems not cheap. To get money for her daughter, Lee will have to find ways to be able to stay the company to earn money for Hyoji. But when inviting the director's name to eat to hope he could help, he forced her to be responsible for the missing material in the building. Although the manager tried to speak, he didn't care, scolding Lee's measles as if everything belonged to her responsibility. Even so, she was still scared about her daughter. Working like this, the daughter probably won't get married. It's better home for adoptive daughter. Seeing yourself being fired, Ms. Lee did not hold back the name of the director who lost this teaching anymore, sarcasm. The fact that he was fired and had to send unemployment allowance to her, it was the right, not the responsibility. But he said as if she was asking him, if the neat work is not handled, then the soul will meet in the court and then be handcuffed. Salt director's name. I can't believe it in the words I have just heard. Leaving, she called her best friend, nor could it work in this place anymore. When she saw her daughter need herself, she felt extremely guilty. Ms. Sun Rong has just said that the amount of money saved both earned was enough to cure Hyoji, but leftover. Meanwhile, in the countryside Chong, Bo Hyun saw Hyoji following his embankment. He felt extremely annoyed, chasing Hyoji away because he doesn't like it. But when she just left, Bo Hyun called her father. Tell me to buy the wrong wire to connect. Afraid to lose face in front of a beautiful girl, she chased her away. It turned out that the son needed to keep his face, so his father went to buy the wire immediately. Hyoji bored around the village. Seeing on the field something moved and recalled the village chief who told this place to have wild dogs fighting with wild boars. Somewhere, just another farmer was working in the field and collapsed right away. A while later, the village chiefs also gathered in front of the fainting friend in the sunny sky. Just waking up was cared for by the angel like this, just like a paradise. Looking at the expression of enjoying this brother probably wanted to faint. The women saw Hyoji taking care of people looking so devoted, and immediately asked if she was a nurse or a doctor. Hyoji said she had studied but now gave up. Do not forget to remind him that he had a cold for 30 minutes, he was not good at calling an ambulance. Meanwhile, Ms. Lee is going to the market to buy some fruits for her daughter. coinciding with that her old crush was also here to buy wires for her son. The two even accidentally boarded a bus. On the way home, suddenly Mrs. Lee spilled the apples and met her former lover. The driver hurriedly caused the two of them to bump into each other. The destiny was preset. The two realized that the opponent was the old one when he was still a student. Also on that fateful bus that Mrs. Lee met Mr. Ryu. It was the early beauty that made her standing immediately on the spot. From that moment, Mr. Ryu has been targeted for a long time. Mr. Ryu is a person in the literary club. Mr. Ryu is always confessed with a dance only love him. The male students are extremely admired when he is handsome and attracts good girls like this. Maybe genuine to fake. Remembering that year, the two were no longer as shy as before. But now Lee felt that Mr. Ryu was still handsome and formal as ever. Although at that time, her friends called her poorly aesthetic, but still decided to like Mr. Ryu. The meeting like this is quite surprising. She just asked him, the old lover, here to arrest anyone. She told me here to make her daughter fled home. Mr. Ryu suddenly realized that something was wrong. Just seeing Hyoji, Lee immediately chased her daughter. She did not want to meet her mother, but just wanted to be alone. She tried to call her back, but Hyoji didn't want to be more like here. Becoming a patient makes Hyoji not comfortable at all. She wanted to find out how she would live in the next time. The words of the girls said extremely hurt her mother. Bo-hyun inside also felt a bit curious about this mother and daughter. Hyoji was angry when she saw her mother. But she really wanted her mother to be more interested and understood. Going to the coast, Bo-hyun followed, only to see that little girl was screaming, complaining, lamenting life. She kept going down to the sea without unconsciously not noticing her danger. Seeing Hyoji began to go too far and drowned. In that moment, Hyoji intended to let go, but an arm quickly grabbed her hand and brought it to the shore. "There are you here, I can't sleep." After changing the bathing, there was the sound of the car outside. Ms. Lai saw her daughter's wet body, extremely worried. I ran out to see it, but Hyoji didn't want to make a fuss. She asked Han, she just said that she had to go to the sea and was swept away by the wave. She was not able to resist, so she was swept away. It was a bit afraid of the sea, so Hyoji said she wouldn't go there anymore. As soon as he went out, the younger brother suddenly stopped by when Uncle Ryu was inviting Mrs. Lai to come to his house to eat. It can be said that this uncle is a holy when every plate of dishes will eat it all. But meeting compatriots like this is more fun. Uncle T wondered, probably when he went to school, Mr. Ryu was very good at school. Ms. Lai had just faltered for a while, praising him at that time very well. Just praised that, the face of the ceiling. The Aerocolist said and at that time he was very handsome. Let's go to the street, so many I wait at the gate without knowing. The person in front of me was one of those people that year pursuing Ryu. Everyone was laughing happily, so Hyoji's mood was better. She shared with everyone this house is true to her taste. When there are stairs, high ceilings, and both garden and windows look out. She used to feel a bit ashamed when her mother worked as a construction profession but did not have a home for herself. Hearing that, Uncle Ryu offered to the mother and son a few favorable lands that he hid in the world. When Hyoji's mother tried to tell her as a single mother, Hyoji pulled her to one side. Asking her mother is very proud to show herself as a single mother? Do you need children to make merit for mom? She did not like her mother always took her daughter to show off to everyone. Thinking that daughter was despising herself just because she was a single mother, that's why I refused to return to Seoul to cure brain. It is true that do not know what to distinguish what to say and should not be anymore. She forced Hyoji to go back to Seoul tomorrow. Recalling that year, when Mrs. Lee attended her daughter's performance, the other parents always speak in and out when they know how a new mother is not husbandly like this. Capital himself did not do anything wrong but was talked about the wrong words by others. Lee must have endured during that time. But thinking about having a child to be proud like this, she also felt very anxious when proud of her children and others. She did not know it accidentally made her daughter feel disliked. After waking up the next day, Bo-hyun took Hyoji a bit around the village.
Sau đó là dẫn cô đến thẳng trang trại hoa của mình rồi chỉ cô cách làm vườn để trả ơn. Bo-hyun đã giúp cô sửa xe thì giờ việc cô cần báo đáp chính là cùng anh đi chăm vườn hoa này. Thế là hai người bắt đầu cùng nhau làm việc. Bo-hyun ân cần chỉ cho Hyori cách cắt hoa sao cho đúng nhất, nhưng lại không nhịn được mà nhìn trộm cô vài lần. Hyori s like thác Sometim lúc like thia hai người nên sớm yêu nhau là vừa rồi đấy. Trên đường về, Hyori tò mò Bo-hyun đã ở đây từ bao giờ. Anh đã nghỉ học đâu đó được 6 năm, tính từ hồi năm lớp 11 gì đó. Thấy Bo Hyun hạnh phúc như thế này, Hyori cũng vô cùng ngưỡng mộ. Anh cũng tò mò về việc tại sao Hyori lại láo với mẹ như thế. Việc hành xử như trời mưa ngày hôm qua không khiến mọi chuyện sẽ tốt hơn đâu. Hyori nói việc này không phải là thứ cần anh quan tâm. Vượt quá giới hạn thì Hyori sẽ mặc kệ anh.
Suddenly scolded by the future lover, Hyoji was a bit frustrated. Bo Hyun was a little worried about running later, but when he got home, Hyoji received a notice from his mother's phone that Ryu gave. Seeing her mother, she immediately ran to reprimand why she borrowed money for others while the family was not well off or enough to eat. She tried to explain that Mr. Hong's mother was sick, so she needed money. Mr. Ryu felt that he had just caused a fight with other people's families and felt extremely guilty. Saying that, Hyoji pulled her mother aside, asking her where it was. Because Sun Rong has sent the address to the mother because this place is quite difficult to catch a taxi. Hyoji only asked his friend Bo Hyun to take himself and his mother to that address. He immediately felt the atmosphere extremely tense when the mother and son kept arguing. However, for girls to please, when he got to the house of the king borrowed money, Hyoji's mother looked like he took the burning atmosphere inside so that his daughter could help this big thing. She stood outside and called the leader of Hong Jong-ju. But inside there was no one but a child who was small and there was no adult manager. The children told their father to go to the nursing home. And then, the three people sat here, one of the biggest girls among the children sitting back to Hyoji's mother and son. She did not know where her father went. Suddenly, the children at this time felt a bit hungry, demanding that the eldest sister cooked rice, but she still had to work part-time at a young age like this. So when Bo Hyun wondered why so long, he saw Hyoji helping the children to clean the house. He also participated in cleaning with Hyoji to help the children brush their teeth and wash their faces, then cook rice for the whole crowd to eat. Mrs. Lai called the manager of that Hong. Why did she suddenly take a bunch of children here like this? Then the eldest sister ran out to tell everyone. Actually, she knew where her father was, at a restaurant to celebrate his mother's birthday. So three people were immediately present at that restaurant. Mrs. Lai looked at the table only to see this party a bit simple. Only a few extremely simple dishes are not worth much. Suddenly there is no longer anger as before. She decided to stand outside waiting for the king, looked at him happily laughing at his mother and promised that he would definitely take his mother to Seoul to play. After the nursing farm took his mother away, the two of them stopped together and talked about the money Mr. Hong borrowed. Ms. Lai said that money was also a very difficult contribution to her in the past, when Li's mother died. She had a very difficult life until she was going to work. She was trampled. Although her life treated her like that, she always tried to live and tried to work. At that time, she overcame her mother's death thanks to her friend, but then that girl also lost. The only one remaining that made her move on was this little girl Hyojin, knowing that Mr. Hong is very hard, but she believed that she sent him to borrow 30 million as miracles to save the lives of the other children, firmly believing that he would have a return day. Initially, Mr. Hong Din disappeared with that money, but when he heard the story of Mrs. Lai, he decided to run again. Then he gave a piece of paper, telling the chef Kim to text him. He also knew that her daughter was sick, so she sent her a small house on the mountain of his mother. Just as if this was the heart he sent back to his mother, and son Hyojin got out of the car. Mr. Hong suddenly came back and thanked her because her mother was not an easy person but a good person. Although it takes a bit of time, he will survive in every way. Then told her that the miracle that she brought will definitely be returned after today. The feelings of the mother and daughter were better than before. Ms. Lai could not sleep, so she went out to sit and waited for herself. Life looks really obscure. Thinking back to the mountain house that Mr. Hong gave, she recalled the words her daughter wanted to live a new life and wanted to have a house like Ria's house. Ms. Lai decided to bother him, asking him to take her to Mr. Hong's house on the mountain. The first two were a little worried because they had not seen anything for a while, coming to a deserted house. Ms. Lai said this is not a ghost house, but the future home of the beloved child Hyojin. She was happy to run there. Imagine the scene of girls sitting in the early morning sun. Looked extremely happy the next morning. Hyojin regained consciousness in a camping car, seeing that she was drawing something when she asked, "I don't go to work?" Mrs. Lee said she had leave. "Are you not hungry?" Hyojin responded frustratedly, "Mom, quickly withdraw the application and go back to work. I'm not hungry and will sleep again." Hyojin's mother happily said she would make egg rolls and then rushed to the food store to buy things. Gina left. Hyojin immediately called her mother's mother, saying that her mother had leave. "If you quit the job, you will not get anything. Please come and pick up my mother now. I and my mother are close to each other." And then interrupt. Arriving at the food store, Gina asked to buy some necessary foods, but the shop owner only stood in one point and did not say anything more, making Gina very confusing. Until I calculated the money, I knew I bought a little bit of itself and finished 16,001. The owner of the store said that this is an organic item planted by herself, with a little more fertilizer, so it is a bit more expensive. By the way, Gina immediately asked about Jijongja's house at the foot of the mountain. The owner immediately said enthusiastically, the house was started to build very well but finished and left. No one came in, looked like a deserted house. When he was trying to trade more melon, Gina took his clothes left, causing her grandmother to sag about camping car. Hyejin's mother happily prepared breakfast and invited Ziyu to have breakfast. Later, Bohyun also ran to eat, seeing Bohyun sitting next to her daughter. Gina looked at it for a while, then praised them like two siblings, then told them to be closer. Hyejin finished listening to uncomfortable when she kept chattering all kinds of hard stories after the meal. Gina followed Uncle Ziyu to his office. She relentlessly admired the office where Ziyu worked before he could speak. Mr. Ziyu interrupted and said, I had a hunch when you came to see the house last night. As soon as she heard, Gina glowed, asking Ziyu to work with me after listening. Mr. Ziyu smirked, pulled out Gina out and said, I tried it last night, but I couldn't do it when he was arguing. He met a crowd of cameras running on the village. Gina did not understand what numbness, so he bowed very enthusiastically. The ants who saw that immediately advised Ziyu to not be discouraged. The ants and ants behind them also added, not spoken. Making Ziyu salted face did not know where to go. Then pulled Gina away, coming to the old house that Gina had seen before. The house was crushed and collapsed almost. Weeds grow everywhere, the walls are peeling everywhere. Mr. Ziyu immediately exclaimed, it is indeed impossible. It turned out that they were talking about being unable to repair the whole house. Gina immediately refused. What is broken? It is okay to fix it if it is too hard. It will be easy to destroy it, Mr. Ziyu said, not knowing how to advise this young lady. Ms. Gina saw that, showing the face of Tao Mai, glittering eyes that asserted Appa will build that. Making his uncle shocked. Must remind yourself to be awake, and turned to leave. Gina still ran after. Tao said, you will do that, why do you have to resist? At the same time, Mrs. Ka's mother went to the camping car to find Hyoji. The two hugged each other earnestly. Their eyes filled with affection as if they wanted to say. Hyejin's mother returned to see that Aunt and Hyejin were sitting and talking. Seeing her mother, Hyejin turned to leave without saying anything more. Gina immediately asked her. Hyejin called to tell her to pick me up, right? The aunt did not know what to say, just trembling and saying it's not like that. Hyejin's mother just looked at her lying, immediately pulled her to the deserted house she was about to remodel to live with her daughter. Gina kept on a dreamy dream of a real dream house that would be formed from a wild house that could not stay, making her mother extremely worried. Auntie Gina is currently facing many difficulties and unstable mental, but need to rationally this house is really not possible. As soon as he said he had not finished the sentence, the front door frame poured out. Aunt advised Hyejin's mother to wake up, this is just hopeless. But Gina still insisted that, just need good repair, this place can do business. Gina still tries to convince her to do with her. The two of them kept kicking back and forth a few sentences, but in the end, no one heard anyone. At the beach, Hyejin was walking chill, thinking about the words Bohyun said earlier and scolded him. Only expression, it is true that the pharmaceuticals. The words just finished. Bohyun appeared, inviting her to the flower garden. I am in need of your best efforts. The two of them enjoy the joy of work after completing the work. Bohyun praised Hyejin for doing very well. Talking. Suddenly the two people accidentally touched their hands, making the atmosphere even more shy. Not knowing how embarrassing to resolve the shy atmosphere, Mr. Teo came to invite his younger brother Bohyun to surf together. As soon as I invited her beautiful sister Hyejin to go, Bohyun interrupted, saying that she could not swim. Hearing that, Hyejin said she would study and agreed to come with. Three people drove to the sea. At the old lattice grocery shop in the village, Gina caught Uncle Ziyu to buy things, immediately curved his buttocks to begged him, let him repair the house. Seeing Gina after a while tired, Mr. Ziyu stopped, asking why he had to be obstinate to fix that house. Gina did not hesitate to answer, I just want to live a happy life with Hyoji. Mr. Ziyu said nothing more, leaving the car to leave, making Hyoji's mother very difficult to understand. I don't know what Ziyu is having a problem and refuses to say it. The cycling was walking, not knowing what to think. His uncle came back to find Gina, agreeing to help Gina very happy. At the beach, Hyoji got acquainted with new friends and they freely played and learned surfing. Live full moments like normal people. Finally, she learned how to surf, enjoy the sea breeze and the welcome and cheering of everyone. At the end of the fun, Hyoji was very happy that what she stood up was not waves, but it was her limit. Returning to the camping car, Gina saw that she was so wet and worried, thinking that she encountered something. Bo-hyun immediately reassured, they just went to surf. Nothing. Gina invited everyone to eat. Let's prepare dinner together. When Mr. Ziu and Gina were romantic, making everyone stand. Seeing the eyes of everyone, Mr. Ziu immediately justified, not as people think. The younger brother shrunk to the teasing momentum. He was divorced, so the two of them had any relationship. Gina is naive. I don't understand what people are saying. Seeing that the atmosphere was about to be shy, Hyejin immediately moved the topic, said he was hungry. Everyone quickly ate it. After the meal, Mr. Ziu and Mrs. Gina talked. He knew that Hyejin was sick through Bo-hyun's words. Gina asked if he was afraid of that, so he accepted the design. Then Mr. Ziu denied that he was free to take advantage of money to earn money. Then offered time to go home in Seoul to have an idea for a new home. Gina immediately agreed and returned to the camping car. Hyejin saw her mother coming home, and when she returned to Seoul, she said she had quit her job, so she didn't go home anymore. Hyejin heard that immediately, that she was afraid of her death, so she quit her job here. Hyejin kept saying words that hurt her mother. She asked her to hate her mother so much. Hyejin did not hesitate to respond, that's right. Mom, go back to do it again. Unable to withstand the tension atmosphere is pushing up, Anzur's mother also had to speak out, saying that her mother was fired due to the company's theft. The situation was not good, so my mother had to suffer unjustly. Hearing that, Hyejin could not help but ask her mother whether she argued or not, or just pitying to admit the error and quit her job. Seeing the girl's illness began to relapse, Gina worriedly reassured, the work would be found again, so my mother and daughter tried to have. But Hyejin harshly told me to live alone. Close to each other, just argue like this, it is better to just be far away and meet each other happily. After saying that, the next morning, when Gina and her aunt intended to go out, she discovered that Ozan had ill. Aunt Lean hurriedly took her to the hospital. The doctor said she had acute tonsillitis, was high fever. Upon hearing that, Ms. Lean asked if the disease would affect the brain tumor. The doctor asks me to be hospitalized first to monitor. If there is a problem, it will be better to transfer Ozan to the hospital. Everyone left, but Gina still kept sitting next to Ozan's hospital bed. Until the next morning, when I woke up, Ozan just indifferently said, I don't want to have breakfast, and turn away. Gina decided to tell her daughter about the difficulties she met in the past. When she was abandoned by her biological mother, she was extremely depressed. Ozan immediately woke up and asked, Mom once told her that she was a very good person? Gina is just he and too, laughing and responding to her, just want to talk about good things. I just want you to have a normal memory. Ozan said that she hated her mother to pretend, because you just like that, you must always pretend to be strong, it is really oversized. Gina burst into tears. I don't know how to be a good mother. I did not give birth to me and was abandoned by my mother when I was young. I was sick. I was scared, but I didn't know what to do. She regretted only thinking that if she clung to her, I would really be abandoned. However, now she doesn't want to regret it anymore. Can you stay with you? After listening, Ozan also hugged her mother, sobbing, and apologized to her mother for making her sad. The next day, Ozan's mother was carrying out the discharge procedure for her, taking advantage of her mother to get medicine. She shared with her, I talked to my mother. Temporarily, I will stay here with you for a while. Made her very happy, because in the end, the mother and I would understand each other better. Being happy, the mother mentally asked, I have heard the story of building a house, right? To be said, she breathed a sigh of relief, making Ozan not understand what to ask again. Knowing that she caused trouble, the mother immediately beat the empty, there is no house. Just go home to cook rice. When Ozan asked her mother about repairing a deserted house, Gina was embarrassed to say that it was not a deserted house but an old villa in that village. After listening, Ozan immediately asked her to take her to see the ancient villa in the words she told. Coming to the village, Ozan's mother told her that she was tired today, so please rest first, but she did not agree and wanted to see it immediately. At this moment, two young people and Bo-hyun appeared, demanding to follow. Upon arrival, Ozan could not help but shock the house in front of her eyes. Teo also let go of exclamation. Looking here is no different from foreign. After saying that, they constantly chattered about the wild scenery, if there were wild boars and lions appearing together. He was the only one to support Gina's idea, but there was no sentence that made her proud. At this time, Mr. Ziu was also present. Ozan looked around and recalled, it seems that I have seen the house like the movie The Dynasty of the Demons. Hearing people comment on the house, that made Gina's face out, showing unhappy, and Ozan could only sigh and depressed. In the evening of the camping car, Ozan advised the mother that the house was really not good, unable to stay. Gina immediately reassured her daughter, The people of the district have finished procedures. Because the house is abandoned, it is okay to repair it right away. Because of the renovation of the house, the mother and daughter argued with a fierce battle. Being tense, Bo-hyun appeared, asking Ozan tomorrow to help him work at the flower garden and leave. Ozan also resented with his mother and then put in the house. The next morning at Bo-hyun's flower garden, Ozan and her friends were used to the surfing at the same flower garden. Friends constantly praised Ozan's ingenuity. When Bo-hyun left to get the box, her friend Bo-young sarcastically said Ozan was probably flowers in the greenhouse, because she was an exemplary student before. Ozan did not hurry to respond immediately, but said she was weeds, because weeds were to grow naturally but her mother always wanted to raise well. There was no conditions, so watering the grass along the road without knowing it was enough, so she kept living and being sick through the day. As soon as she finished speaking, she frankly said, "I like Bo-hyun." Ozan only responded to his standard very high, as if he did not pay attention. At this moment, Bo-hyun appeared. He was admired by his friends, but he shyly said everyone to work. At the same time, on the side of Ziu and Ms. Jin-ah are also in the process of embarking on renovating the house. Mr. Ziu received a call to Seoul to see the material, hearing that Ms. Jin-ah also proposed to go. At this time, Ozan and Bo-hyun were walking around the stream, watching the majestic, beautiful scenery of the village. Suddenly Ozan slipped. Because she supported Ozan, Bo-hyun fell into the stream. He apologized to her first and carried her straight down the stream. The initial embarrassment is gradually disappearing. The young couple played in the cool stream but did not seem to realize the gap between the two people being pulled closer together. In the evening, Ozan constantly thought about what she had experienced with Bo-hyun and shook. When she was asked by her mother, she denied flying, knowing news tomorrow mom to Seoul. She also announced that tomorrow I will also come to Seoul because I have just received an appointment message from her friend. The next morning, everyone departed about Seoul. At first, Ms. Jin-ah also said that she was very sensitive and could not sleep in other people's cars. But she had only gone halfway to sleep and opened her mouth and made Ziu bored not know what to say. In the car, the mother and Ozan are chatting very happily. Suddenly the atmosphere is deep. Ozan shared with her aunt, "I don't know how to say about animals about the illness." Auntie only sighed and said that she understood her more than her, so she rest assured. Going to school, animals screaming incessantly when they met Ozan again. Both of them went to the lawn to watch the sunset, drink beer and review the story of escaping. That day, animals were afraid to pee out their pants. At the Ziu and Jin-ah, the two of them went back to the construction site that Jin-ah had previously worked, to ask colleagues to help in renovating the house. Meeting his colleagues again, Jin-ah's mouth chattered in time. The words of laughter echoed incessantly in the pub. Ziu directed his warm eyes to look at Mrs. Jin-ah and secretly felt happy instead. At the same time, on the Ozan side and her close friend were talking happily. Suddenly Ozan was quiet, thinking as if it was difficult to say. Realizing the abnormality from you, the animal tried to ask. The scenery is strangely sad now. Animal just said, "I will not say try or the words like that. Please live happily. Do what you want, live indiscriminately, play for fun." The two of them hugged each other to say goodbye, but on their lips still kept their smiles until the shadow of the friend gradually disappeared. Each person fell into a state of empty sadness to the extreme. But without any tears, Ozan returned to the pub where his mother and uncles at the construction site was gathering. As for animals, they still sit at the bus stop every trip to another, but she missed and still sat there. Hesitating for a long time, she decided to hold the phone to her father, sobbing about the illness of Ozan, but she did not know it. In addition, she also texted a small friend dead. On the side of Ozan, when her mother left the drinking table, her colleagues told her that her mother cried a lot when she had appendicitis in the 9th grade. The leader and his colleagues relentlessly praised the brave and strong mother of Ozan's mother when rolling around in the profession. She was so strong, but only when her daughter was hospitalized, but the construction site was very busy. Jin-ah did not say anything but kept crying and then ate all the rice bowls. At this time, they knew that she was trying to live and was attracted to her from that time. Hearing the story, Ozan just smiled silently and proudly said nothing more. Looking at her smile on her face, she felt much happier. Returning home, Ms. Jin-ah constantly disturbed due to drunkenness. Sitting next to him Ziu, she shared that she did not know now that she should face reality or hide it, then fell asleep. Mr. Ziu sat next to him, quietly remembering the past when his wife decided to leave him and his children. It is a feeling of deceiving yourself. After helping Ms. Jin-ah into the resting room, Ozan and his uncle Ziyu sat down to talk thinly. Mr. Ziyu asked Ozan why opposed his mother to build a house. She thought that just because of her mother's life was always changing. She has never lived her life true. This made her both afraid and sad. However, Mr. Ziyu said he once asked why he wanted to build a house. She just said because to live happily with Ozan. Both her mother and her are the same. Just want to live and do what you want without delaying. After seeing him off, Ziyu, Ozan lay next to his thoughtful mother thinking about what she had silently did that she had just known. It turned out that her mother loved her so much. The next morning, Ozan prepared a table full of food with his mother to have breakfast. She also contributed ideas in the design of a new house as a testament to her implicitly accepting what she did. On the way back to the village, Ozan constantly asked Mr. Ziyu to change the design of a few places, but all of her mother rejected the opinion. She immediately said this is the house in the opinion of Jin Ah. The mother and daughter are constantly giving each other all the way, but it seems this time much happier. Not long after, the construction team also started working. The house is quickly completed, and this place contains all the enthusiasm and love that Jin Ah for her beloved daughter. The house is complete with the shimmering lights and joy of everyone. Ozan visits every corner in a small house. Seeing her still busy checking in the yard and still not going to bed, Ozan blamed her mother to eat and sleep, and her body was gradually depressed. Jin Ah responded shyly, I still eat well and rest is also very good. Ozan saw that, so he held his mother's hand and said living hard is good, but we need to live valuable. If you do not teach your mother, let your child with you. Mom is an extremely valuable person, unable to be mistreated. Hearing her comfortable daughter, Jin Ah's eyes were constantly exuding pride and happiness. Being affectionate when a dog appeared to break the crowd. The mother and daughter were afraid of falling pants, huddled and did not know what to do. At this moment an old lady appeared. Use a sausage to lure the dogs to other places. This person appeared, making Jin Ah extremely surprised. That moment, the old lady had a bright smile and said, Mom is late.